A big player in cable TV to take over cable and wireless.
Commissioner of Police Ellison Greenslade not surprised by the increase in murders. We'll bring you all the details, so stay tuned.
Smoke, smoke, and more smoke. Jubilee Gardens residents say they're tired of the nuisance. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A world leader in cable TV could soon take over cable and wireless. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson. Liberty Global, the world's largest international cable company, has agreed to buy Cable and Wireless, the parent company of BTC, for billions of dollars. The announcement made yesterday, and now the question is, what does this mean for the company and the industry? Clint Watson has more.
The Board of Cable and Wireless concluded that it's in the long-term best interest of the company, its shareholders, employees, and customers to sell the business for an overall price of approximately $8.2 billion. Liberty Global is the world's largest international cable television company with nearly 27 million subscribers, receiving over 57 million distinct services that generate approximately $18 billion of annual revenues. Chief Executive of Cable and Wireless, Phil Bentley, said Liberty Global offers scale and world-class capabilities and will be an outstanding custodian of their business, both for their people and their customers. State Minister of Investments, the Honorable Kalish Roll, says the new company still has to go through the investment approval process from the Bahamas Investment Authority.
Nothing is automatic. We don't anticipate any major hurdles, but the reality is it's a new investor, and any new investor coming into the Bahamas, whether it's part of a global acquisition initiative or an individual local purchase, they still have to face the scrutiny of the National Economic Council.
As to whether this now leaves a possibility for government to buy back full ownership of the company, Minister Roll says he couldn't say that was on the table.
There's an agreement in place. We will look at the agreement, but there's I don't know that that is one of the options available. That's a discussion to have. When individuals buy companies, they buy them with the understanding that all agreements that they currently have in place will remain in place.
President of the BCPOU, Bernard Evans, says he's not surprised. In his view, Cable and Wireless was only window dressing and would eventually pull out. However, he feels the government should explore buying back BTC now that the game, in his view, has changed.
And in the heads of agreement, there is a provision provides you that if, in fact, they want to relinquish all of their shares, the government do have first right of refusal. If they want to take back, and I believe they ought to look at that option, whether or not they can afford it or not. I think they ought to look at that option, because certainly you can't continue this revolving door of who their partner would be, and try to stabilize the mind and to keep intact the middle class. As we continue to go through this exercise, you would see that the middle class will continue to shrink and shrink.
Evans says the new climate with foreign companies is continuous streamlining, so he suggests a buyback as a means of stopping the uncertainty with transitioning foreign private companies and as a measure to stop the revolving door with further job losses. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Clint. Tragedy in Nassau Village today as a young man is gunned down. Cleopatra Murphy has the details of the slaying in broad daylight.
Armed police officers formed a roadblock in Nassau Village as they conducted investigations into a shooting that claimed the life of 22-year-old Ricky Charlton. Onlookers gathered in the streets while bloodstains and bullet holes marred the wall of a home adjacent to a vacant lot where the body of the father of a 2-year-old son fell. Officer in charge of Police Homicide Unit Superintendent Bernard Bonamy Jr. says police were alerted to another incident. as police